morning, everyone, and welcome to our Gate TV. Today it's a very special day, one we say, because welcome to the program. First, I Gate newspaper headlines. But what we're doing today is a joint broadcast. You are also getting the signals of the newspaper review, headlines review on the radio arm as well. So, welcome to the joint broadcast of I Gate newspaper headlines on iGate television. So I have usually what we do here is to bring you the perspectives of what the papers are saying of for that very day. So today being Tuesday, the 13th, 15th day of October, I'll bringing you the headlines from the newspapers, from the local papers we have here, and as well the national dailies. And I have joining me on this program to do justice to it is first, let me start with my right is TV Akase. And again, I have Uche Unarum, who are both seasoned journalists on the program. Gentlemen, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Benjamin. It's a pleasure watching the newspaper review, and it's been wonderful. Agate is doing well.
Okay, Unarum, this is not your first. So, okay, but let's go straight into what the papers are saying. Of course, a lot of things have happened from economy, security, and sports as well. But usually, what we do here is to bring a first paper, and that is our Gate newspaper. In case you are not aware that there's a newspaper of that nature, our Gate newspaper, it's here, and we usually begin with it. It brings you all the stories from the local to national and international. So let's begin. And the banner headline on iGate newspaper, first here you have is Benue Council polls. Of course, it's something that is being talked about. And you have the banner headline says, a mockery of democracy. That is coming from PDP. And the writer says, ABGA calls for cancellation. And those sworn in, not APC candidates. That's coming from the APC Publicity Secretary Dan Ihomon. That is the banner headline. You have other stories below it again related to the council polls. It's Benue LG elections, a sham, and that's coming from the Senate Minority Leader Bamoro. And below it, just the bottom of the paper, you have armed army rescue, kidnapped cop member, and others in Benue State. Just above the nameplate, what you have there is thugs kill one in Rivers and set LG Secretariat ablaze. And Fubara vs Wike, Rivers crisis could pose a security risk to Nigeria. Killing in Benue, war of attrition. That's coming from Idoma Group. And just the last we can take there is NSA's claim on state of Nigeria security empty. Government rhetoric. That is human rights advocate making that statement. These are the stories you have on the on iGate newspaper. But let's begin with the banner story. And the banner headline says, Benue Council polls a mockery of democracy. Let me begin with you, Uche. You monitor this particular election. What PDP is saying, what do you make of it? Was there an election? It says a mockery. Do you agree with PDP, or you have a different opinion?
Thank you so much. Good to be here once again on the review of this TV station. What I would say in regards to the local government councils that we had a week ago, last Saturday, that I won't say a fair shot of being a local government council poll that could be acceptable anywhere. We expected that it could have been better than what it is, because the stakes were high concerning the election. A lot of things were done, a lot of preparations we are put in place to ensure that the elections were credible, it's transparent to a certain extent. Monies were released. In fact, for the first time, we're saying huge sums of money released. 6 billion naira for local government election. It's alarming. It's outrageous, I must say. That sum of money, and then for the elections to fall short of what it is. So I must say it's very regrettable. I think the government should have done better. There's also room for improvement. Perhaps maybe I would say the elections were held, let's say, so hasty in holding the election, because if they are not held the elections, allocations to the state would have been, the allocations to the state wouldn't come. So they had to hurriedly ensure that they hold the elections so that they will not be denied allocation from the federal, from FAC. That's why they held the elections. For me, it fell short of a credible election. They better. They need to do better. They need to improve on elections in the state. That's my take on that.
Okay, let me come to you, Akase. If you look at this, of course, the opposition party one will say they always cry when they are not favored. The PDP is saying cancel this is a mockery. APGA is saying cancel the election. And again, surprisingly, inside APC, a statement is coming that those candidates sworn in are not the party's candidates. But before I get your thought, we'll go on a short break. I will come back and then we'll take your thought on what you make of all of this. Let's go on a short break.
Everybody, welcome to another edition of On the Streets with Philomena Agbanyi, and today we're going to be doing common things around us. They are common. It sounds common, yeah, though, but we're going to know today if they are common or not. So, come along. How are you doing?
This is TRGate News headlines, newspaper headlines review, and of course the joint broadcast. You still get the signals live on Gate Radio. But before we go on the break, I was about to get in the thoughts of Akase on what PDP is saying. At the same time, APGA and again inside APC, what they've said that the candidates sworn in are not APC candidates. What do you make of all of this?
My colleague Uche Norom summarized it. He was on the field. I am no longer on the field as a journalist, though I'm still a journalist. But Uche was the one who was one of those who covered the elections of local government elections of Benue State, and he gave the true picture of what happened and what the people are also saying, that elections didn't hold. So there is not much one can say again, because the APC themselves have come to say, look, the candidates who were sworn in are not APC candidates. I don't know how that goes, but that is their own party problem. But on the field, our colleagues who covered the elections reported that the elections didn't hold. So I expect that in this era, changes should be happening, where Nigeria is evolving an electoral system. So at the state level too, those who took over in 2023 promised that they will bring a new thing, they will change, they will make things better. So we were waiting to see how that could happen, but unfortunately, what we saw in the last election, local government elections in Benue State, fell far short of the expectations. And I hope that going forward, things will get better, because the people didn't. I was in my polling unit, waiting in Agbe, the main market, waiting for the electoral materials and the electoral officers to arrive, but we waited till 5 p.m. and no officer of BSEC came, and we didn't see any electoral materials. So that was unfortunate, and it happened across the state. But in the evening, results were announced and people were sworn in the very next day. So we should be moving forward as a people. We should see those changes. And fortunately, the Senate of this country also waded into this issue. We watched the Senate some days ago, condemning what happened in Benue State, which Senator Abamo, the Senate minority leader, described as a sham. And even the Senate president agreed, and many other senators agreed. So that is to tell you that a lot didn't happen. I mean, the elections of Benue State was a far cry, and if we are serious, if we are, serious.
Argument that if you take charge of the conduct of election, there will be fair, credible elections. Do you think removing SEC from this, or removing the state electoral body from conducting election, will bring that credibility that one expects? Because when a particular party holds a state, for instance, APC, they won across the whole local government. But some people believe that if INEC the national body conducts the election, it means there could be some fair where APC or APGA and the rest could pick up some of the positions.
Yes, I'm one of the advocates of that school of thought, that because states have failed over the years to conduct credible elections, so if we need to try something else, and if allowing INEC or setting up a new body, a new commission for local government elections, I am for it, because what we have seen so far is a situation where governors, announce results are written in one place and announced, and this is not deepening democracy at the grassroots. In those days, we knew that people were elected at the local government level. People went out to vote, their chairmen and councillors, but that for some time now is not been happening. So we need to try something else, and if that is what will bring the desired change, because already the federal government has taken the right step by granting full autonomy of local government. So the electoral process will make it more beautiful, because if you allow the people at the grassroots to choose their leaders, they know the people who are with them there. For instance, in my local government, I know almost everybody who is capable. We have the data of graduates in my local government. We know who can do what. So if you allow our people to choose, they know exactly who to vote in as chairman of the local government, and that person will be able to deliver the dividends of democracy to the people.
But of course, there's a whole lot of struggle of structure. In River State, you saw how the PDP governor had to, because if he makes any mistake, the structure will be in it. And it feels as if local government chairman is a key in structure of the party. Do you think governors will allow other parties to win the election, even in the next 2 years to come?
I want to first say I agree with this school of thought that say that the state independent electoral commissions should not conduct elections, local have seen that what they conduct is a charade election. It's not incredible at all. The INEC should take over and then conduct election, because what the governors are concerned about, like you said, to them to control the structure. And you know what they
something just came to me. Is it about only structure or the finance?
I was going to talk about that too. To also make dry the local government, because they're the ones who are in control. But thank God for the autonomy that has been granted to the local governments. That now they have funding, direct funding, and the federal allocation. So the governors, and then this issue of joint accounts between the states and local governments too. It's also been taken away from the states. So now at least there's little semblance of autonomy for the local government. So local governments can now control their finances. They can now embark on projects, not waiting for state governors there. How much do you need to embark to carry out? Because a drainage system, to do a drainage system, you have to go to the local government, to the governor, cap in hand, begging, give me 1 million naira to construct just a drainage system. But with now, the local governments now have autonomy, they can now control their finances, they can now embark on projects, and there'll be a semblance of democracy at the grassroots. And people can also feel the impact of democracy at the local government.
Beyond that, many people are describing it as a sham and all of that. People are now asking the question where the 6, how it was spent.
Well, and on that too, Uche talked about it, that a lot of money was released for the local government, Benue State local government elections. And that is for anti-graft agencies to inquire, and not me, or perhaps the State Assembly, which approved such a huge amount. You know, if the money, because the reports we had were that even ad hoc staff were not recruited, or if they were recruited, they were not mobilized for the election. So it is up to the State Assembly. If they are happy, they are representing Benue people in the hallowed chambers. So if they are happy that the 6 billion that they approved for local government elections were not properly utilized, or if they are okay that they were utilized, that is their own business. When the next elections come, the people will ask them those questions. So I am not an anti-corruption agent. It's up to the people who are in charge to know whether the funds that were released by the Benue State government were properly utilized by BSEC to conduct the last local government elections. You know, that's what I think about it, because it is the people's commonwealth, and the people have a right to know how the funds are utilized. But I mean, beyond that, there's really need for probity.
Okay, people ask the other option there is it also beats the imagination, where APC says the candidates sworn in and all theirs, so the faction still remains in the APC as it stands.
As soon as the elections the results were declared, saw what looked like a mockery of a press statement from the same APC, from the public secretary, the facto public secretary, the embattled, they call it the factional public secretary, that's Danny Hammond, congratulating the candidates. When I saw that release, when I saw the press statement, how can this be? There's a faction, and then you're congratulating those who emerged at this. But I saw it as a mockery.
Yeah. Okay. But these are the stories you have on the iGate newspaper talking about the killings. But of course, security is another thing here that many are saying killings in Benue State. When do you think what should we be doing rather to ensure that we have a safe place in Benue? Because of course, farmers aren't going to farm any longer as they're supposed to.
Makes mandatory for governments at all levels to provide for the people. And those two things are security and welfare. These are in the Constitution of Nigeria, 1999 Constitution, as amended. And the government has a duty. It is not a privilege it is the right of the people to be protected. And that is why it is enshrined in the supreme law of this country, the Constitution. So, what I think is that government at all levels have to place security at the front burner. Allocations are made bigly to security. That's why governors get monthly security votes. So it is up to state governors to collaborate to support security agencies, conventional security agencies, provide them patrol vehicles, provide them with other logistics, make sure that the police have enough patrol vans. And we saw this happen in previous administrations. The DSS receives support. The army, the military, both air, land, and water, receive support, enough support from the states, because the budget of every state has a provision for security. So when you have a state government providing the backup, providing the complementary role of what the federal government is doing, then you have a better secured environment. And then the people too have a role, providing timely and useful information to security agencies. This is very important. That is why a governor has the chief security the security advisor, who liaises between his boss and the security agencies. And that same office is also in charge of taking intelligence, gathering intelligence across the 23 local government areas, for instance, in Benue State, and feeding His Excellency the Governor, who in turn liaises with the security agencies in the Security Council of the state, to make sure that timely information is provided to security agencies. That is why traditional rulers are also involved in security, because they reside with the people in the rural area. It is the job of traditional rulers, if a government does not use them, that government perhaps needs to understand that traditional rulers are there. They know who is in their domain. And if a suspicious person steps in any community, the people of that community immediately know. So it is their job. That is why the previous government of Samuel Otom established community volunteer guards. The job of the community volunteer guards is to make sure that they gather intelligence at the grassroots and feed the office of the security advisor at the state level, who is, by the way, the chairman of that council. And the State Security Council is informed, and the state governor acts immediately to make sure that security breaches are stamped and are curbed in all the communities of the state. So this is a network, and the people are also encouraged to actively get involved for us to be able to get it right.
Okay, let's look at the other part of it. This is iGate. We just looked at iGate newspaper, and we will continue to go into other papers. But before you get to know, we go to other papers. Let's look at it. iGate newspaper can be accessed on iGate website, www.igateradiotv.com. If you go to the website, again, you can also listen to the radio, and again, listen to all. Again, you can download the app and have all of that on your app. The app name is iGate News, and you have the radio, the TV, and the newspaper as well. So that is that for now. We'll go again on a short break, and when we come back, we will continue with the newspaper headlines review. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome to another edition of On the Streets with Philomena Agbanyi, and today we're going to be doing common things around us. They are common. It sounds common, yeah, though, but we're going to know today if they are common or not. So come along. plan. I'm going to be asking you a very quick question, okay? These are common things around you. How many local governments do we have in Benue State?
23 local governments.
Oh my God! Wow!
How many planets do we have on Earth?
We have 8.
Jesus! Jesus! Hey!
8 planets on Earth?
Because Pluto was not included.
Damn!
Oh, it was 9 before.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have like 8 planets on Earth.
Yeah, now.
Right now?
Yeah.
Wow! Chop knuckle. But,
You're welcome back to the program, and we're going straight to the next paper, and it's going to be This Day newspaper. And This Day's newspaper, the banner headline says, at NESG 30th Summit, Nigeria Economic Summit, Tinubu canvasses collaborative efforts to drive economic growth, and says World Bank, the writers there, World Bank economic policies hurting ordinary Nigerians, and projects 3.3% economic growth for Nigerian in 2024, 3.6 next year. And Bagudu, FG determined to stay the course, deepen implementation of revised national development plan. Oyedele says a new tax regime may take effect January 2025, and CBN reaffirms commitment to subduing inflation. And Man again is saying once manufacturers' constraints addressed. The economic summit going on started yesterday, and the Vice President said Nigeria is on course. The Tinubu administration is doing very well. No problem at all. So that is what you have on the This Day newspaper. Again, the other headlines you have there, just above the nameplate, you have Kayamo, FG set to concession 5 airports. ITA promises to be advisors in process. Maiduguri Airport to commence international flight January 1 and 2025. Aradel Holdings listing on NGX adds 3.4 trillion to market capitalization. Maltreatment of eagles in Libya. Tinubu demands CAV's investigation and justice. Describes act as inhumane, unsportsmanlike. Welcomes safe return of national team. FG summons Libya's charge, and CAF refers case to its disciplinary board for investigation. Appropriate action needed soon. Okay, these are the stories you have on this. We just talked about 2 of them: the CAF and the summit that is going on. The FG, the Shetima Vice President says, who represented the president yesterday at the summit, says the efforts are yielding indeed very great positive signs. It means we are getting out of inflation. That's what he said, literally. And Yedele is saying that new tax regime may take place effect in 2025. We're talking about 25% tax regime for those who earn above 1 million and above, something like that. So I don't know. What do you make of what Shetima is saying? This government came in and has been saying, yes, they have improved. They are improving the lives of Nigerians.
Well, Benjamin, I don't know, but you see, Nigerians will only believe what we can describe now as rhetorics when the prices of commodities in the markets begin to go down. Just recently, NNPC jacked up the price of in Lagos. So if the federal government is selling at over 1,000, what do you expect the private sellers of petrol?
Independent marketers.
The independent marketers, what do you expect them to do? Now, You walk into a filling station, you pay 1,500 naira per liter. Okay? Look at the naira. The naira is falling every day. I think at the last time I saw this morning was 1,600. Over 1,600 because you have some kobos there. Now, where is the fate of the ordinary Nigerian? So if Mr. President is saying this, yes, we want to believe him. We want to agree with him. But our people are waiting and their patience is running out. Listen, Benjamin, some people call every day from my community. I'm giving just an example from my community that things are not well. And it is happening across this country. So the presidency needs to understand that, yes, Nigerians are very patient people. And Nigerians, since he came on board, Mr. President came on board, he has been asking the people to, look, we understand your pains, we know what you're going through. So the people have been waiting. But a lot more needs to be done. And I saw one of the riders on that headline which said, the World Bank policies are not helping the ordinary Nigerian. So that is another thing that the federal government needs to extricate itself from. This government is being accused of playing into the hands of the global powers like the World Bank and the IMF. What the people analysts are saying and some critics are saying is that the policy is being implemented summit. So the federal government has the obligation, the duty now to Nigerians to prove that it is not dancing to the drum beats of the World Bank and the IMF. And by doing so means that you cannot liberalize, you cannot deregulate the oil sector and still put your hands there regulating prices, controlling prices. It is not done anywhere. By the way, not many countries, this oil subsidy removal that we bandy around here, there are some utilities that are subsidized by developed countries. Education is one of them. Energy is one of them. Because these are things that if you leave in the hands of the private sector alone, for instance, if federal and state governments withdraw all their public schools, and you leave all schools in the hands of private owners, the private sector, the ordinary Nigerian, the common person, will not be able to pay the school fees of his child. So energy and education are among the very basic things that the government subsidizes across the world. So we need to be told a new tale, because what we are hearing now is not convincing, if you permit me to say this.
Uche, yes, he has said, like I said, I said a lot. But one thing I want to say is, let's not just, many people feel that we are attacking the federal government too often. Yeah, policies are there, but so much of money. And so that money as well is being given to the states in many, many ways. You want to talk about palliatives, you want to talk about loans, you want name the funds, ecological funds and all of that. But are they reflecting in the lives of the people? Should we also begin to look at, shouldn't we start from the state government and begin to ask them these questions before we go to the federal government? The president has also said that much money, he has given a lot to the state governments. What are they doing with it? What do you think?
Let me start with the federal government, because I don't know the indices they use to measure the stability of the Nigerian economy. When they say that the economy is doing well, the economy is improving, I begin to ask, what indices do they use? And they're now trying to shift the blame. We're always fond of doing that, shifting the blame to others. But when the right thing to do, now they're blaming the World Bank, that the World Bank is the one that is responsible. By their policies, they are hurting Nigerians. Why don't we accept responsibility that we don't have a good economic plan? The president does not have a good economic team. You should accept these facts and then deal with it rather than shift blames. The same World Bank you blame, they just recently released about $1.5 billion to Nigeria. to cater for whatever 3 sectors: economy, health, and one other sector. Just recently, the World Bank has given so much money just in this one year of this administration. They've gotten so much foreign, so much foreign interventions to the federal government, which we are not seeing the impacts of it. And even at the state here too, so much money. In fact, on the monthly basis, they share trillions.
Yes.
Trillions from federal allocation. But then we don't see the impact of it here. We don't see the impact of it in the states. So the federal government should start asking questions, start asking the governors, what do they do with these monies? Salary payment alone is not an achievement. See, we should be able to see concrete, cogent projects that will impact on the life of people in the areas of roads, healthcare. So primary healthcare centers, nothing to write home about. I know this government said when they come on board, they will fix them. But 1 year after, you're not started seeing that. So questions, people need to ask questions. Nigerians, how well are they applied?
In that that school fees there should be a waiver.
Yes, there should be a waiver.
Maybe, the first term or second term, as the case may be. But of course, let me ask this question, Dr. Kasi. The maltreatment of Libya. Nigerian team is back. It's home now, safe. Thank God that he came back safely. But the president is saying he demands an investigation and justice.
Yes, thank you, Benjamin. I made a video on that incident yesterday, and I'm happy as if the president was listening to me. I'm happy I played a small role there, and many other Nigerians did. We rose in condemnation of what happened to our pride, the pride of this country, Super Eagles. Nigeria's national teams are some of the only things that unite the people of Nigeria. When the Super Eagles are playing, you don't find Abdullahi or Shegun or Teve or Emeka disagreeing. We all come together. When the Super Eagles score, we don't ask whether it is a Shegun that scored, or it was Musa that scored, or it was Anuche that scored. No, it is Nigeria that scored. So when our team found itself in that scenario, I was worried because Libya is one of the countries that are facing challenges of terrorism and so on. So I was afraid that let our players not run into the hands of terrorists, because the what's that place called? The Al-Adbrak airport is used only for Hajj operations. Now the team was en route to Benghazi, and just an hour or so on air to Benghazi, the plane was diverted to Al-Adbrak, and this was not planned. They were kept there for 15-17 hours with no food, with no phone connectivity. Now, thank God they came back safely, and the government of Nigeria acted and brought them back. So Mr. President now asking for an explanation from the Libyan authorities is very, very important. He shouldn't stop at that. If the Libyan government does not provide convincing answers to what happens to the Super Eagles in Libya, I will not be surprised if Nigeria withdraws its ambassador from Libya, because we can't have this happening. Anything could have happened to those players, and you can imagine the calamity. You can imagine the catastrophe of such a thing happening. What if the plane crashed? Because we were told that it was in a dangerous diversion, that plane was moved away from its route to Benghazi to Al-Adbrak. So this is condemnable, and Nigerians must insist that the demand made by Mr. President should be sustained, and until we get a conviction to consider sanctions. Nigeria too can impose sanctions,
Yeah. Again, I also watched your video. You said 3 points should be given be awarded to Nigeria for because the match was not played. Nigeria made all the efforts.
Yes, that is for CAF to do. Nigeria took the pains to travel to to Benghazi for the game, which would have taken place today. Now, if they were treated, if our players were treated the way they were treated, then we deserve the 3 points. And if you insist that that game be played again, then you have to move that match to a neutral ground where Libya too will travel and Nigeria will travel to, and we'll meet there, and it will become a good game for the Super Eagles.
I read CAF saying that, right here, CAF saying, referring the case to the disciplinary board for investigation. My challenge here is how long will that take before they bring up a result? Because this should be very swift. It should be something that should be calling for an urgent attention. But of course, the Libyan government has also brought up its own statement reacting to that, saying it regrets with every sincerity that this happened to Nigeria. But they gave a 4-paragraph press release. The last paragraph is one thing that is also very surprising. It says, well, our players also came to Nigeria, also suffered the same thing. So one begins to imagine, to see that whether this apology they gave was sincere or not. But what do you make of the Libya action, the treatment of the Nigerian team in Libya, and at the same time, their response to what happened?
The treatment, I would say, was really dehumanizing. That is not the spirit of sportsmanship at all. It has really defied all tenets of sportsmanship. And I read through their press statement, the Libyan government is issued. And they're also accusing Nigeria of also treating them the same like. But Nigeria came out to say, no, we didn't do that. We made sure that they were supposed to land in Yo when they played us here. But unfortunately, they landed in Port Harcourt and then en route to Yo. And so I don't know. That is why they decided to also do the same to us what they claim we did to them. And the Nigeria Football Federation came out to apologize to them that it was unintentional, it wasn't deliberate. But like I said, that treatment they meted out to us was really uncalled for. It's dehumanizing, a fair shot of tenets of sportsmanship. I mean, an era like this, football has gone past this stage. Football is a united, you're like my colleague here said, it's a unifying factor. When we play, everybody put aside their differences, whether political, social difference, all the difference, you put them aside and they will watch the game and we enjoy it. And then even also at the international level too, something too, it brings about ties between nations. That's what football does. But for our players, we treated this way, 17 hours being kept in the airport. They were denied food, denied water. The NFF president was there too. So another national assembly members were there. Top echelon of Nigeria in the sports. We were there. The deputy governor of Delta State, Edo State, was also there. Shaibu was a part of the entourage. For them to be treated that way, it's really uncalled for. And I believe that CAF should do the needful, and it should be swift too.
Yeah, I read in other places that this is not the first time the Libya football authority is doing this. In the CAF competition, I think in Yamba also.
Yes. Remo also encountered the same thing. And to also tell you that what they did was deliberate. Sudan was beat to place also in Benghazi.
As the case may be, we will see what will play out. But of course, the CAF will give their own take. Let's go to the next newspaper before we can end up our show today. Is the Nigerian News Direct, and we have a lot of headlines there to take. The banner headline there says, Nigerian economy challenges are surmountable with right policies. Of course, that is what was reported in the state newspaper. And above the nameplate, let me take the ones above the nameplate. Celebrating a year of transformation at 77,000 as new minimum wage for workers. That states the civil servants there should be jumping up and down, isn't it?
That's true. Yes, we should celebrate it.
Okay, so Transcorp Power PLC reports 186% part growth in third quarter 2024. Occupants of a collapse Igonmu building ignored government warning, Lasema, and took the other story. National grid collapses for the 8th time in 2024. I went home yesterday. I didn't see. Didn't see lights. So yeah,
they restored it.
It's back now.
Yes.
When we say the story of the minimum wage, which should be a cherry news for the people. Like I say.
It's a good one,
Yeah.
and I commend Governor Abiodun for doing this. Yesterday, so this morning I read a story, was it in the Nation newspaper, which said that I read the Senate cautioning state governors from over trying to thwart the Supreme Court ruling, the Supreme Court judgment rather, on the autonomy of local governments. That some states are already making laws to mandate local government chairmen to be remitting an amount from their monthly allocations to the state government, what they call consolidated fund. Anambra State has already made a law like that. The Senate condemned that law, that there should be no law, because what the governors are doing now is to try to subvert, trying to, to undermine the Supreme Court judgment on local government autonomy. I'm coming back to the minimum wage.
Somebody said it's a monthly tithe. Governors are asking the local government
so the Senate the Senate warned that there should be no monthly tithe or any monthly consolidation after remittance to the state government, because the judgment of the Supreme Court is sacrosanct. So the same thing is happening in the minimum wage now. Some states are refusing to even talk about it, but other states have already gone ahead of the 70,000 naira minimum wage. And I look at Abiodun, he has added 7,000 to the 70,000. So workers of his state will be very, very happy that this is happening in their lifetime. That the minimum, the lowest paid worker there will be going home with 77,000 naira. It may not be so much to take care of all his needs, but it's a step forward. And with the 3 years review of the minimum wage, it may perhaps in the next 3 years, that money will rise to about 150,000 or so, and it's something to really write home about.
Okay, Norom, I'll bring you back here, because you cover a lot in Benue State. You have followed what is happening in Benue as well. 70,000. I read that the governor is also trying to make some implement this particular policy. Where perhaps in the briefings you've been having, where are we at the moment? You are not a spokesperson of the government, so but I'm asking perhaps in what you have been following.
I was going to say I'm not a spokesman of the government. The governor has a spokesman. They should be able to tell us.
Where have you followed the story too?
He has a spokesman. He has his economic team. They should be the one that is telling us.
I'm asking you where you have followed it to.
This is where, just to say that to challenge other governors who are yet to implement the new minimum wage, to strive to do so. Governor of Kogi State is paying 72,000 as minimum wage. Now, Governor of Ogun State, Abiodun, is also paying 77. So other state governors should also key into this. Need these governors. It's long overdue. The time of negotiating and all that, that window has been given for the governors to do that. They should start paying. In view of the current economic situation that we are faced with, workers are faced with, though that money is nothing to take home, it's nothing to write home about. But those governors who have not implemented should implement it and start paying. And those who have outstanding arrears, because they get a lot of money, humongous amounts from the federal allocation. By now, expecting that they should have started clearing those arrears, and the workers should also expect that by now. But now is that increased, but tripled. Yeah, tripled. The allocation are tripled. So they should start clearing their arrears, so that the workers will smile, and then they will not feel the effect of the current economic real hardship that's being faced by Nigerians.
If governors are passing the mark of 70 and going upwards, it means indeed it's a confirmation that they're having their hands are full with cash.
Yes, that's true.
But of course, they should not ask for tithes.
From local government,
Or
or make the cow, or make the cow dry, so that we no more milk.
But let's just take this short one before we go, and that is from the Punch newspaper. Let's see how punchy it looks like. The banner headline says, PDP factional chairman clash as governors fail to resolve crisis. So PDP as it stands, whether it has two chairmen or it doesn't have, but
what I know is that PDP has one acting national chairman, and that is Ambassador Omar Damago.
okay. So the story, of course, newspapers will carry what they have been fed with. Damagun camp threatens to arrest Mohammed-led National High School. Let's see how this whole drama pans out at the end of the day. I think
it's so interesting what is what is happening in the party. I know that they have an internal resolution mechanism that they can resolve the crisis and then see that they'll come back to the same table. But the court has said, and that's Damago.
Mohammed says he has resumed work, but many people ask him where can we access him? Anyway, he has resumed work, and these days you can be resuming work virtually, but maybe if the PDP gives room for that, let's see how it happens. This is where we have to end the show for today. I most sincerely thank you, gentlemen, Uche Norum and Tevia Kasi, for being part of this show. Thank you sincerely, and I hope to see you next time again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let me just ask you your own thoughts. How has it been on the program today?
Yeah, it's always good to be here, and it's really interesting.
Okay.
And refreshing too. And
yeah, so we'll continue to do that. Your own thoughts as well.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. It's an innovation.
Okay.
And it's encouraging.
Okay, just to let you know that this will continue on Tuesday. Every Tuesday we'll return here. It's a joint broadcast. The radio and the TV will continue. And again, if you have a lot you want to get more of our stories, go to our platform, most especially our website, www.argateradiotv.com. But don't forget again that you can download the app, Argate News. That is where you can get everything that concerns Argate. Argate is just ensuring that you get everything. It's the people's voice, and the app name is Argate News. On Google Play Store, you can get everything. The Radio 1, Radio 2, the newspaper and the TV, everything. Watch movies and all programs that you need to know, news and everything. It's on that app. One app serving different purposes. My name is Benjamin Gutsav. See you next time and stay safe. Bye for now.